To my right, we have Zara Bilou, who is a community organizer, civil rights attorney. Many of you have seen her eloquently defending Muslim civil rights and civil rights more generally in the United States and abroad. She serves as the executive director of the San Francisco Bay Area chapter of CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, which is one of the most notable Muslim organizations that we have in the United States. And I wanted to ask you, the last few years have seen some really intense debates and conversations in a lot of Muslim communities about where we stand as a country domestically and internationally. And sometimes these conversations, building off of what Mehdi said, can become kind of intense, and they provoke sharp divisions and disagreements. Now, there's nothing to say that we as a community have to agree on where we stand, but how do we deal with the divisions in our community that are inevitably going to keep coming up as these conversations, especially involving Muslims, become more and more pointed, more heated?
Also not on. Jazakallah khair. Thank you to Haroon, to everyone else on the panel, and to Isna for having this conversation. It's always difficult to talk about disagreements and then to give us all the stage and hope that we won't do it wrong. We build together over and over. One of the things that my parents always raised me with is you fight more with your siblings than you will fight with anyone in your life. And then maybe when you get married, you fight a little bit with your spouse, but never the way you fight with your siblings. And you can't rid yourself of your siblings or your parents. They're your family. Our community is one family. And one of the things that I remember post 9/11 that we talked about a lot was unity and unity and unity. And every time there was disagreement, people got worried and they got scared. Except we have to realize that unity does not mean uniformity. We're going to disagree. We have to draw our lines in the sand. For some people, that's going to be boycott, divestment, sanctions. For some people, it's going to be gender relations. I'll tell you personally, I have trouble working with people who disrespect women. I have trouble being in separate spaces. I have trouble not seeing the imam. And so when I'm put in those spaces, my personal lines are tested, right? And everyone has those. But I come back over and over. I was raised to go to the masjid every day of the week, and I'm grateful that I still get to do that. And I don't always agree, but we're stronger together. One easy to do is to fall apart, right? How easy would it be to splinter this group in this room into 15 different conventions? We could probably find more ways to divide us. But the former president of the United States, Jimmy Carter, doesn't come speak to a convention of 50 Muslims. He comes and he speaks to ISNA because we have power when we mobilize together. And so I say, fight, put your opinions out there, work within the organizations and the institutions to put forward your agenda, but also understand that unity is going to mean more than any divisions that we ever have. And so if we don't have the discipline to fall in line when it's necessary to fall in line, when it's necessary to mobilize thousands and really millions of Muslims, when you think about even how big this group is, take a second and think, actually, there's somewhat around 7 million Muslims in the United States. If you could move 7 million Muslims, we could probably fix our foreign policy and our domestic policy. But it takes discipline, teamwork, and unity first.